So I wrote the story, and I had these 5 people that were Susan's entourage rolling in with a crew. But I realized that they are 4 women and 1 man, which is fine, but for like an intimidating like guard entourage. So I made these 2. All right, so I think this is Bryce Barnes. I might human him because Barnes is a human name. That's not an elf name. Humans tend to have like names based on their trade, whereas elves tend to have names based on stuff in nature that they like. Ooh! You want to hear another fun world building shit? Oh, but I need more. Oh, I like the name Bryce Barnes, but okay, because I know who this is. This is a guy from another story, and his name is Huggy. But I don't remember his whole name. I've got his whole name written down somewhere. I might have Huggy in here. Okay, so humans tend to their names sound kind of basically familiar, like names that we would have here on Earth in the modern real world. But their last names tend to be kind of trade oriented, but in a really like as bluntly literal as I can get away with. So Bryce Barnes is a farmer name. Our hero of Wild Azaleas is Hayden Dirt, also a farmer name. Not always the greatest of names. And this is a trick I learned from Terry Pratchett, who's amazing. I love him. Read some Terry Pratchett, best fantasy author there ever was. But the way that elves aren't named at birth by their parents. Because elves, they don't live forever exactly. Oh, yep. You know what? That totally makes sense, Squirrel Horde. I think, yeah. This guy just totally like he grew up with humans. No, he wouldn't. An elf wouldn't choose the name Barnes, but he may have been raised in a human settlement by a family named Barnes, because elves don't have barns.
He's a city elf.
He's definitely a city elf because he's part of the royal guard. Okay, so the way elf names work is when you don't age normally. You age when you want to, which makes a human say, why would you want to age? It's like, well, I don't want to stay 7 forever. You age because you're growing, because you're changing. And elves, because they can do that when they want to, are having a much more comfortable relationship with aging. And so because it doesn't even fucking matter how many years old you are, it matters, which stages in life you are. So the birthdays that there are like 5 or 6, I'll know them when I say them, life events that an elf will have. When you're born, you are an infant. When you choose your name, you are a child. So that event is when you are old enough and mature enough to know that you yourself are a person, and to know your world well enough to know how you want to be called. Now, this has the effect of most of them being named after something they found in nature, like lizard or birch or thorn or whatever. So, like, they find something in nature that they identify with, and that's their name. And family names are fairly similar. They kind of diversify by tribe. And not all elves do this tradition. Some of them do the human thing of giving names. Keylets are a thing all to their own, which is I'll later. And that's another one. The Keylets are my dark elves. Cave elves, yes.
Oh, okay. You actually just answered my question, because I thought the Keylets were the capital. I was going to ask about Emmy.
Emmy is a what TSR, what Dungeons and Dragons would call a dark elf. Their Keylets are cave elves. They are functionally albino. They have gray skin and red eyes. They are very allergic to sunlight. They typically wear sunglasses when they're up out of the caves. But they're not like inherently evil, but they definitely have a strange and aggressive culture. And yes, Emmy of the performers is a cave elf or a Keelet.
But yeah, so I think Emmy might be my favorite of the.
She's my favorite too.
Yeah.
And she has so
the
few
secondary
lines.
cast, anyways.
She has so few lines and is such a side. Like I don't get to use her very much.
Mm-hmm.
Are you Kelvin? As in like actually albino? I don't know what she meant. Chinese Zubats. Today I learned I'm a cave elf. Okay, so yeah, that's why like Bryce Barnes isn't really a name that an elf would have unless he was raised by humans, which I have just decided this guy totally was. Thank you all actually for helping me world build a little bit. That's great. I'm gonna look up Huggy's name really quick.
I actually learned some stuff from that particular rant that I didn't already know. I didn't know that was the next event after the performance was the princess coming. I didn't know about the princess.
So she was kind of a surprise even to me, the writer.
Ooh.
Where
I do love those.
I had written chapter 1 and 2 where the princess exists and she's basically the performer's like employer. So the performers are a band of bounty hunters that work between the human desert-facing farming settlement of Farmhelm and the elven world city of Ajax. And between the two is a really important trade route that is really rife with it's a short trade route, but it's rife with bandits that want the shit that's getting traded. So the two very autonomous city-states are like, we need to police this shit. So they kind of make an arrangement to say, we'll share the cost of hiring a bunch of freelance bounty hunters, we'll vet them together and sort things out. And the bounty hunters we follow are known as the performers. They are the ones central to the Midway camp hamlet town, it's like shithole city, shithole little village called Crossroads, which is a little bit off center from Midway, but it's kind of like grew up as like a place, because while the trade route goes mainly between these two cities, it also goes up to the Keelet city and far east to like the rest of the elf world. And so it is a four-way crossroads, and people live here and became kind of like a great stopping point, rest area. And this particular band of bounty hunters just started doing fencing shows and said, I guess, well, this fencing show is kind of fun and people like it and is making our lives easier if everyone's on our side. And so they became the performers. Holy shit! Big ol' world building dump tonight. Thank you all. This is my favorite thing to do. I love this.